John. I'm a profile specialist. I'm a portrait photographer, specialised in the art of headshots. And I mix human behavioural sciences with what I do. If you've seen these videos before, where we're both sitting in the same room looking at people's profile images, you'll understand what actually happens. If you haven't, welcome. We're going to do our very best. Joseph, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, we've done a couple of sessions before, but we've both been together, so we've both been looking at the same screen. So what we're going to do today is very improvised. It's a whole new adventure, and basically what I describe myself, I guess, as a facial profiler. I work with the 3,000-year-old Chinese tradition of Mianxiong, which literally means face reading, and your personality, your behavior style, communication patterns, stress triggers, stress responses, and a lot more are revealed in your facial features. So prepare to be amused and amazed and entertained.
Give it a go anyway, won't we? Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll reach out and ask one or two of you guys to share your screens. Louise, I think you were one of the first people to log in. Do you want to share your screen with us? And if you can bring up your LinkedIn profile picture and show us your LinkedIn profile, that's what we will kind of look at first. Okay, cool. You're very, very good, Louise. Well done. This is the first non-hiccup.
I kind of want to be considering what I do.
Does kind of help. Go for it, John. You go first.
Yeah, I don't think we need to zoom in or anything like that. Okay, this image is pretty well shot. One of the things, can you see me, guys? No, you can't because I'm talking. But you can see me. Okay. So one of the big things is, Louise, your shoulders are dropped slightly to one side. It just shows that you're either sitting on your hip or you're sitting on a chair when the photograph was taken. It's a nice image. It looks like you. The smile is genuine and reactive, and it's obviously based on trust, which is hugely, hugely important in photographs. It's not a social smile, you know, this terrified sister-in-law smile that people tend to do. We have the corners of your mouth are reflected upwards. Your lower eyelids are flat. Your head is slightly inclined to the side as well, which opens up your personal space. So I like it as an image. It's a nice image. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Over to me now, I guess. Okay. Yeah, we know each other well, Louise, at this point anyway. So I think I've probably said a few things to you already, but just for people watching, the first thing to look at here is the forehead area, which is well developed. It's largely vertical, but nicely curved to the sides. So when you see a well-developed forehead like that, and with Louise also, the eyes are very bright. So she's very present. There's an alertness there, which I know from meeting so often in person anyway. But when you see that combination of the high forehead, particularly with that vertical dimension, this is somebody who's got great analytical strength. So ability to assimilate information, analyze it in a very logical, linear fashion, but then take it beyond that, because the curvature at the top and at the sides allows for the creative dimension to come in. But for Louise with a forehead like that, it means having the facts first, having the information, being able to calibrate it, prepare it, organize it, structure it, and then see how to be creative beyond that. That's a massive part of her strength.
Cool. Awesomeness. And we got through that one quick as well. Can you hear me? I think I hit
that.
Yeah, so awesome. So Louise, you can unshare your screen and we'll try and get into the next person. So I don't know what I'm looking at all. I'm in full screen, so I'm not seeing people. Who was the next person?
We just do you.
Lads, I'm terrible at technology. Even though I use technology every day, I'm absolutely rubbish at technology. Who was the other person who signed in first as well?
That was Lynn Moretta. I don't know if she's still there. I can't see who's on her or not.
She's still there. She's on mute.
Still there. Lynn, if you can share, Lynn Moretta, if you can share your screen and show us your LinkedIn profile picture.
Yes, but it is a little bit difficult because I use my phone. But can you use this?
Yeah, you can, of course. If you touch the picture on your profile, it should come up on the full screen and we can try and do it that way.
Yes, okay. I try.
Yeah, even if people want to do that on their phones and hold it up near the camera, we can all see it then. Awesome.
Is it okay?
It is.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
Joseph, I can just see you. Can you mute your thing? Hold down the space bar or something.
Guys, can I say one thing?
Yep.
Yes,
If
please.
you go to the top right-hand corner, there's a button which says Gallery View, and you can see everybody on the screen at the same time, so you can even see yourself, John. So in the frame of the Zoom, yeah, you got it?
Yep. So, then we're at, okay, I can see your image there.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
This image is shot really well. It's a nice image. It looks like it's shot a lot below. So one of the big things that we do is we either look up at people or we look down at people, and we don't want to have a sense of, you know, superiority or inferiority. So I generally would advise having an image that's shot almost completely straight on, because when it's shot completely straight on, it shows that we're on par. It looks like you were at a party or something. I love the smile, actually. The smile is beautiful. It's a confident, approachable smile. It's genuine and it's reactive, like I said about Louise's smile as well. So it means that you're not smiling just because you think you need to. You're smiling because you genuinely were, you know, inspired to smile by something. Whatever was going on in the room at the time means it's a genuine, reactive smile.
I was alone.
It's a lovely image. It is a really lovely image. For LinkedIn, one of the things, again, that I said earlier is that I like to see an image cropped at the chest and the head, because we communicate as humans with basically the face. You're okay, don't worry about it. I've seen it. We don't need to see it anymore. So we communicate with the shoulders, and we communicate with the position the head is in, and then the eyebrows, the lower eyelids, and the corners of the mouth as a unit shape. So we only need to see the head and the shoulders. We don't need to see any more than that. But it is a lovely image, and it really does show your personality off very well.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, if you could just keep holding it there, please, Lynn Martha. Thank you very much. We know each other virtually. We've met many times online.
Yes.
So I'm just going to say a few particular things here. I'm looking at the eyebrows, first of all. The eyebrows are lovely and curved. And when you see that shape on an eyebrow, it tells you that this is somebody for whom the personal connection is really important, rather than just simply doing business with people. You're very person-centered. But also, I'm looking at the beginning of the eyebrows, which is here. And that's the thicker part, but then the eyebrows are very evenly shaped all the way. So for you, planning and preparation before you start something is really important. But you also then, once you start something, your energy levels are consistent all the way through. You don't slack off. So that's one particular thing. I don't know that people can see it so clearly in this one, but you also have a vertical crease just here between the eyebrows. And that indicates, amongst other things, that you have certain perfectionist tendencies. So I would just suggest that you watch that you're not putting yourself under pressure to make things perfect when they don't need to be. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, just watch that one, because you can, there's two elements to it. Number one, you can find yourself you can put yourself under pressure to get things perfect. And
wait,
life isn't normally perfect. That's the first thing. Good enough is good enough. But also you could find that in trying to make things perfect, you could neglect just very practical things like eating regularly enough. So you could end up with low blood sugar levels, and that can make you more stressed. So that can impact on your judgment. And then you think, oh, it's still not perfect enough. So you can end up in sort of a vicious cycle, which you don't need to. So just be a little bit easier on yourself, and life will flow more easily. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you. Very nice.
My pleasure. Now you can just sit back and relax.
Yes, thank you.
See what else we come up with.
To myself, because I muted myself and didn't realize it. Okay, so we'll have a look on the screen. The next person I think that we see on the screen is Luis. Is it Luis? You can unmute yourself there as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Luis, there's two. There's a Luis male and then
Luis.
there's a Luis.
Yeah, there's Luis from Portugal, and yeah.
Hey, how are you?
So which one is it?
You can stay on for the moment, and then we can jump back and forth.
Sorry, I didn't want to skip the line.
Not okay. So you can share your image with us, and we can have a look.
Yeah.
Whether you can share your screen or you can hold up your phone.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it there.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that people do when they're in photographs, especially coming into the studio here, a lot of the time people will say to me, do I smile with my mouth open or my mouth closed, because they're not sure. Some people will come in and tell me that they don't like their smile, they don't like how they smile. So one of the things you're doing in the image is you're holding your lip. So you're smiling with your mouth shut, but you're dragging the smile, which shows that you're just holding yourself back a little bit. The background is a weird color. It's clearly photoshopped in, or you're standing against a really, really weird blue wall.
I did Photoshop it in.
Yeah. Look, it's fine. The only thing here is that you're pulling your shoulders back. And when you pull your shoulders back, it changes your dynamic and your shape. So either being dead straight on, or if you're going to be at an angle, you can drive your head out towards the camera like this, and it'll make sure that we can see your jawline. The only thing that you're doing in the image that would be a bugbear of mine if it was in the studio here and I was shooting somebody is you're holding your mouth closed. A lot of people do that. A genuine reactive smile, the corners of the mouth and the center of the mouth are on different levels. So the center of the mouth is here and the rest bows upwards. It's a genuine reactive smile. It's like when a 16-year-old girl in a supermarket or in a shopping center sees her friends for the first time after like 4 minutes and they explode and the hands go into the air. You know, happiness and jubilation drives us outwards and upwards. So when you hold anything back like that, it just reads as disingenuous. It's not the worst image. You're well lit across your face. I'd probably pull all of your hair down onto your right shoulder, just to frame the face a little bit better, because just being pushed back is a little bit strange. You wouldn't. It looks like you're running or something. You know, the hair just flies back. But other than that, it's a nice image, and it does show you very well.
Okay, thank you,
Joseph.
Okay, my turn. Right. Those of you who've been on these sessions with myself and John before will have heard probably some of this, but for the people who haven't, there's a few obvious things which jump out here. First thing, Louise, is your head is essentially oval, or your face is rather oval in shape, and from the Chinese perspective, that indicates that harmony in your environment and in your life is essential. You respond and perform far better when you're in an harmonious environment. So if people are being stressed or aggressive around you, even if it's not directed at you, it does impact. So mind yourself if you find yourself in that kind of environment. That's the first thing. But your face is actually also is kind of a combination of oval and rectangle. This sounds terribly geometrical and almost uncomplimentary, but it's actually very practical. So the rectangular shape is one we instinctively associate with leadership. So you have the capacity, if you allow yourself, and this is a question, if you allow yourself to really step up and take charge of situations, but you do it best by bringing people on board rather than telling them what to do, certainly telling them in any kind of forceful way, because that's not your natural manner. And that does not imply weakness in any way, because you're actually a very determined individual. I can see that in your chin. But your right cheek is quite full there. And that's something we associate with empathy. So you work best and you get the best out of people by being empathetic towards them. So the softer approach works better for you. And again, it's not an indication of weakness. It's actually part of your great strength. And you're also, one other thing here, and with me there's always one other thing, is your eyebrows are quite straight. So you can actually think things through very well. You're actually very, very logical in many ways. So you can actually assess a situation very well and very quickly before going into it and decide what's the best way to operate here. But again, if you bring in the empathy with it and the softer approach first, unless it has to be otherwise, things will flow better for you. Things will flow best for you.
That big right cheek thing as well, Joseph, is I remember this from many of our sessions, is comfortable in positions of power as well, isn't it?
It can be, yeah. But it's making sure she's in harmony with herself first, because if you don't allow yourself to take on those qualities of leadership and just go into the softer bit, you're neglecting part of your great strength.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Pleasure.
So you can unshare your screen and we will talk to the next person. Actually, Luis, the other Luis, male Luis. Mute Lynn. We can unmute you, Luis. There we go. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can. Excellent. Can you share your screen with us or show us your LinkedIn profile picture on your phone?
Yeah, indeed. There we go.
Cool. Well, your hair is different.
It is indeed,
Yeah.
actually. I'm looking at updating the picture, so I'm looking for useful insights that I can use.
Okay, so first things first is this is an image cropped from another image.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, one thing that I tend to tell people as well is that when we invest in ourselves, or we invest in ourselves, we're showing that we plan on being around for a while. You know, if you go to a car garage and it has a sign outside of it made by children, you know, it doesn't really say buy a car from me because we'll be here in 6 months. So if you invest in your image, or the image, or the imagery that you're using online, whether it's on a website or whether it's on your LinkedIn, it shows that, you know, it was professionally shot because you plan on sticking around. It's another thing that we see with reflections in people's eyes. We see viscosity and health in people's eyes when we see reflections. The smile is borderline social smile. It's genuine enough because you're in a happy enough situation. Let's say it was at a party or somebody's wedding or something. Your top lip is almost completely flat across, but it does bow up at the edge. So that just shows that you're comfortable in the situation you're in, but you're not that comfortable having your photograph taken. Your lower eyelids are curved as well. So it's this sense of a social smile. So smiling because you believe you need to, rather than the fact that you are compelled by emotional release to smile. You're angled in a little bit as well. If you're probably quite tall, so if you're taller than the people you're in a photograph with, I can't really show it now, but one of the things that you can do in a photograph, if you're 6 foot tall and the person you're having your photograph taken with is 5'2", instead of leaning over, and when you lean all the way over, what happens is it changes the dynamic of your posture and it just looks weird. So you're at an angle in this photograph, like you're outside of it or outside of the group and trying to get yourself back in. What you can do is you can actually just separate your legs. So hold on, I'll run back and I'll do stuff in the studio. If you can all see me way back here, is if you separate your legs but keep your posture up, you still stay tall and you still have decent posture. As John jumps on the couch. These videos are always weird. But if you could see that, it means that when you spread your legs, your posture stays tall and grand, and it still shows confidence, but it brings you physically height-wise downwards. Joseph, I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Hello, Luis. We meet again virtually. Several things jump out here. I'm looking first of all at the hairline in that picture, and you notice at the center, at the top, it comes in a slightly rounded, slightly curved. So when you see that in a hairline, number one, the first thing for this person, fairness and justice is very important. So whether that's in your immediate environment, whether that your domestic environment, your work environment, or the world around you, you have a very strong inbuilt, almost like default setting that justice is important. But you also have an innate built-in capacity to solve complex problems quickly without even having to analyze them. It would be easy for you to go into a situation where people have been struggling to work out something for quite some time, and you just have a quick look at it and you say, guys, have you ever thought of doing X? And they look at you and, how did you know that, or where did that come from? And it's just an innate ability you have. You also have quite a well-developed forehead, so you have and your eyebrows are relatively thick, so you have a strong capacity for taking in information, absorbing information, processing it, storing it, and then utilizing it. And your nose is also quite firm, well developed, so you're well able to express yourself. So when you have an idea, when you have something to say, you're going to say it. Your chin is also slightly prominent and well formed, so you're going to be very determined. So when you have goals, when you have intentions, you're going to go for them. There's absolutely no question about it, and you'll be very clear in what you want. You'll be very clear in how you need to go about doing it, going about achieving it. Yeah, there's a few snippets of information that jump out immediately. So hope that rings true for you.
Very good. Yeah, indeed. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Excellent. So we have Hannah next. Hello, Lego head. Hannah plays at Lego professionally.
Yeah, amongst other things.
Cool. So Hannah, can you share your image?
There. Does that work?
It does work.
if you could just click on the image itself, Hannah, if you wouldn't mind, so we can just see it a little bit larger.
Whoops. There we
Some
go.
people are looking at it
That's
on
better.
phones and stuff like that as well, so it's going to be quite small.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is another big question that people ask all the time. Should we shoot in black and white? Should we shoot in color? Black and white was always traditionally shot because it was cheaper to process when people still used film. But now we can take as many photographs as we want, and we generally don't process them. So in color is always better. If you're an actor or an actress, or you're in any sort of role where people physically need to see color, it's definitely important to show those things. There's no point in having, glorious red hair if you're not going to show that in your headshots. Hannah's not an actress, so we don't need to worry about that. This is shot, you're a bit mad, but you're not an actress. This is shot from above. So that whole inferiority thing as well. So we're shooting down like the photographer is superior to you, and we don't want that. So shooting it from lower is much, much better because it shows that you're on par. I do shoot slightly above, slightly below the people that I photograph. And I do it for a reason, because we need to draw down to make them pay attention, and it gives us a better angle on the jaw. This is one of the reasons that photographers used to shoot high as well, is to make sure we can see your jawline. So it just looks like the angle is a little bit off. It looks like you're leaning towards the camera to get that jawline, and then with your head out as well. So it doesn't really show the actual shape of your face, because I know you're in much better nick than the kind of round face that we see here. The smile again is a social smile, so you're smiling because you think you need to. You have a much bigger, wider smile in genuine life, and you really squeeze your lower eyelids when you smile as well, when you have a genuine reactive smile. The other thing as well, I know Maeve is on. Maeve is a photographer. Most photographers will shoot you with the light, the strongest emphasis on light on the side that you unconsciously favor. You're right-sided, where this is lit from the left side, and the photographer's on your left side. So I'd have flipped you, faced you the opposite direction, and brought your face back around to me and lit that side more than the other side. But yeah, it's a nice image. It's well lit. It's lit enough to show you off. It's not like we're kind of all backlit. Like, if you can see me now, you can't really see my face. This is not what we want. So what we do is we make sure that we can actually see your face with light. But it's not a bad image. You're scheduled in with me soon with the JCI council, so we'll update it.
This is a really old picture, so it's about time I got it upgraded anyway.
Say that again?
It's a really old picture, so it's about time I got upgraded anyway.
Yeah, we'll have to upgrade you.
Joseph, your turn. Right. Okay. Yeah. Where it's an older image, is probably better if we were to do something more recent. But we'll just work with what's there. And the whole idea of this, what we're doing here, is kind of a tutorial for people. It's not simply to focus on the individuals. It's a general sort of advice thing, tips and stuff. So the first thing is the forehead is, again, relatively high. So I don't know in what context you play with Lego, but obviously Lego is about structure, organization, planning, detail. So that your forehead would be ideally suited to that. But I'm looking we can divide the face into 3 horizontal zones. The first one would be from the hairline, for those who have one, down to the eyebrows. The second one is from the eyebrows down to the tip of the nose. And then the third one from the tip of the nose to the chin. And the middle section, the middle zone in your face, would be the larger. So it tells me that you have a very strong creative side to you. So it wouldn't just be a case of, I'm going to make a structure of whatever kind, or I'm going to plan something. It's, how can I develop it? Where can I go with it? Where can I take this? And that would be very important, that you can express the creative side of you, because it's just one of your great strengths. Your lower eyelids are straight across here, straight lines here. So that, amongst other things, it tells me that loyalty is very important to you, and that will apply in your personal life and your professional life. You can be emotionally cautious in terms of letting people in really close to you, and that's okay. There's no judgment. That's just an observation. It's probably quite wise, actually. But when people have really earned their way in, then the loyalty works both ways, and you'd be quite discerning in who you would allow in close to you. And again, which I think is a perfectly wise position to be in. You're also, your chin is also slightly prominent, so you're very determined. Once you decide on something you want, you're going to go for it. And again, that's just a natural part of who you are. You're not a shrinking violet. And if you allow yourself to not express, you're doing yourself a great disservice. That make sense?
Very much. Yeah, thanks for that.
Pleasure.
Awesome. So Hannah, if you can unshare your screen.
Yeah. How do I do that?
If you go to the
How
bottom.
do I unshare? Hang on.
Top right hand corner, stop share.
Ah, thank you.
There we go. If anybody doesn't want to be seen, I'll block you all out anyway. But if it's not on the Instagram, it didn't happen. Okay, so we are going to go to the next person we can see, and it's Emma Armstrong. Let me unmute you, Emma, if you're not. There we go. I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, great to see you both and all. So hello.
Hello, how are you? Can you share your screen with us, or can you?
I'm having some technical difficulties, but that's my fault. But I didn't know if you'd be able to pick up if I.
That's cool. You can show us on your LinkedIn on your phone and just stick it right up as far as the camera. Oh, I like it.
If that doesn't work, we can just do a live face, so whichever.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can do it from the image. So if you put the image up as far as the camera.
Tell me up or down, or.
If you go to the image itself and just push it right in as far as the camera. I love it. Well, there's no kind of saying that this is not a genuine reactive smile. Very, very clearly a genuine reactive smile. Is that what you're using on your LinkedIn?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the one you want to use in your LinkedIn. The image is well shot. The light's lovely. Kind of a dark background, which is something I do quite a lot. Yeah, it's a brilliant image. You know, people are afraid to show images like that on LinkedIn a lot because they think, oh, it's too smiley or it's too laughy. But, you know, as humans, when we meet somebody, if they've got a big scowly face on them and they have the, you know, a face like the smell of vinegar, we don't want to deal with that. You know, you're walking down the street, you're not going to approach people like that. And especially in business or to have relationships with people, because ultimately our headshots and the images we use online are only there to help people understand who we are, because technology, like the internet was only invented 50 years ago or so. And that was a way for squishy things to communicate with other squishy things on the far side of the world without actually having to face them. So we can't develop relationships in the same way that we would have. So by putting up an image that shows you as a personality rather than just the shape of you, it makes such a massive difference. That image is perfect. I couldn't pick a better image to use. You know, it would be, that's a fantastic headshot. Love it. Shows you.
Yeah, wonder who shot that, eh? Yeah.
I wonder. I didn't shoot that. That wasn't me.
Oh, all right. Okay. Okay. All right. I can only see John, so
I'll mute myself.
Okay. I can still only see you, so I can't see Emma in any shape or form.
You need to go back to the gallery view in the top right hand corner.
Okay. Let's see.
Louise is our tech editor for the day. Thanks,
Okay.
Louise.
Far from it.
Oh, I'm just seeing. Okay, I'm not. No, I'm just getting the chats for some reason, even though I'm going into gallery.
If you close the chat in the
I have. Yeah, I'm clicking on Emma, and it's just, and I'm not in chat. I'm in the participants. I'm in the. So, let me see. I don't know what we're doing. No. Okay.
Or could
I'm at a loss here. So I did see Emma when she came on initially, but
how about could you look at my LinkedIn?
No, I can see you live, but can you hold up an image?
Yeah.
Please. Ah, excellent. Yeah, thank you. That's very helpful. Right. Okay. Several things jump out here, and the eyebrows are very nice and thick here. And what we can see on the left eyebrow, the beginning of the left eyebrows, there's a little cluster of hairs which are kind of upright. So you're a problem spotter. So anybody presents a proposal or an idea to you, you immediately can zone in on what the likely problems are going to be. A, for the project itself, and B, if you do X, this is going to happen. If you do Y, this is going to happen. So, and because your nose is well formed, you're somebody who's going to express yourself. So if you have an opinion, if you have a view, and particularly if you know you're right, you're going to say it. Sometimes to people, you can probably be just a little bit too direct. That ring a bell? Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So part of your strength then in getting your views across to people who don't necessarily want to hear them is to use that smile. And I'm not being facetious in any way there. Part of how you will persuade people is by smiling and being soft and being pleasant, even when you know you're right, you know better than them, and sometimes you just need to charm people. Your teeth are also telling me how determined you are. Your chin is telling me how determined you are. The gaze in your eyes in that photo is telling me you are a very determined individual. And if it comes down to it, you won't take prisoners. So you can be pretty direct in your manner and how you present yourself. And just for your own benefit, it's to recognize there are times to gauge it and just pull back a little and you'll get better results. That makes sense?
Super. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Awesomeness. So we're going to go next across the line is to Emer Duffy. Hello, Emer Duffy. We'll unmute you so you can talk.
Hi. Hi, John. Hi, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi. Hello, Missy.
There we go.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Can't see it.
We could. You've disappeared again.
Have I? Oh.
Bring it down.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
There we go. This is a longer image. Obviously, it's kind of full length on your phone, but even from head and shoulders. So it's well lit. It's lit from the right side. Earlier when I was talking to Hannah, I was saying that Hannah was lit from the wrong side. And the camera was on the wrong side of her. But here, it's gone off, but it doesn't matter. I've seen it.
Yeah.
The image is lit from the right side. So you're right-sided and the image is lit from your right side. So it's highlighting the right side of your face, which is the side of your face you unconsciously favor. The posture is quite strong, but you're leaning forward just a tiny, tiny bit. Now, you're not really leaning forward too much, but what's happening is because there's no straight lines in nature, it looks like your shoulders are rolled forward. And when you pull your arm back slightly as well, it makes your arm angle towards the back of the image. And it makes it look like you're leaning forward or you've dropped your posture slightly. One way of overcoming that is to lean back when you're having photographs taken side on. So if you angle back like this, it just straightens and elongates your posture and you look stronger and more confident. Your mouth is just a little bit held, as in your smile is held back just a little tiny bit, but it's a nice confident image. Bit of a bigger smile would show more of you, more of your personality, but it's a cool image. I like it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Missy, just hold it there if you would, please. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Right. Okay. You've got big, wide open eyes, but as John said, the eyes and the mouth are not smiling. So this is a serious pose. Don't know what the circumstances were for the picture, but you're displaying a lot of seriousness.
I did it for my LinkedIn. I did it for LinkedIn because I wanted something a bit more professional, and I did it for a girl who is she does women's photography, and she wanted me to do an article. So she said if I did the article, she'd do a headshot for me. Otherwise, I'd be off to see John, you know. But,
oh yeah.
I sent you Vicky, so hopefully that yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
But anyway.
Let's just hold to that one. So this is a very serious looking image, and I know you have a much lighter side to you. So I would just looking at it personally, I would prefer to see more of just a little bit more of the smile and the lightness, because it's not really conveying your natural warmth. You just keep it. Yeah, just keep I know you want to see what I'm seeing, but just bear with me here.
No,
now,
I just didn't want to go now. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So your eyebrows are nicely curved. Your right eyebrow is kind of a curve and an angle combined. So when you're working, you work well with people when things are again harmonious, but you're well capable of saying, guys, this isn't working, and being very clear and being firm and direct with people. That's again that is a natural part of you expressing yourself. You will achieve you'll achieve the best results by exhibiting your natural warmth, but then making sure people are, because you have an ability to direct people and to say, guys, if we do it this way, this is how we get the best results. Your nose is firm, your nose is straight, so you're well able to express yourself. Your integrity is very, very clear. Your intentions when you engage in something are very, very clear. So just bring in the warmth first, and then tell people how you're going to do it. And your face is a kind of a rectangular shape. So again, we instinctively associate that with leadership. So you're well able to just step in and take charge of things, but you will achieve most if you do bring the softer bit in first. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Stuart. Awesome. Thank you, John. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Emer. And Emer is Emer runs Mead Business Hour with Stephen. I know Stephen's here as well. You do lots of cool things for everybody else. So it's very much do for the good of the village. Everybody benefits.
That's what we do.
Cool. Thanks very much. Let's go to Roisin's next. Let me unmute Roisin if we can. We'll find you in the list.
Yeah. The conscious Zoom may close us down, so we just need to bear that one in mind.
Which?
Zoom may close us down because I think we're on a 40-minute limit, aren't we?
No, they sent me a message to say that it's not going to limit the time. So.
Oh, excellent.
They're even doing for the good of the village today. Hello, Roisin. How are you?
Hi, John. How are you?
Super. Amazing. Having the crack locked in the studio on my own.
You're doing the right thing with the social distancing.
No, it's a government decree in his case.
So, can you share your image with us?
It's an old image I have, but I haven't got round to changing. Can you see this? Oh God, it's the wrong one.
I had it. Sure, you're showing your image and not somebody else's.
I know. Oh God, I've lost it now. Hold on. As you see, I'm not that technical.
Neither am I. That's why Louise.
Neither am I.
Can you see that? It's a small one.
If you touch the image itself, Roisin, it'll open the image to edit it, but it'll show us the image itself, and you can bring it up as close as you can to the camera for us.
So if I touch the image, right, what I do now? It doesn't say edit. No. I'm not.
That's okay. If you can even push the camera, the phone up as far as you can towards the camera.
Yeah, can you see that?
Yes, I have you on LinkedIn. Hold on, I'll bring it up on LinkedIn myself.
I think that's another old photo.
That's okay. I'm going to bring it up on my phone here. Yes, sorry, guys. Nice and slow. There we go. This is the image that I see on your LinkedIn.
Oh, that's another old one.
That's all right. Both of the images are, I'd probably give the same critique on both of them. The one that you're holding up, you're on Facebook with that one, are you?
Yes.
Okay, so that image is lit from the side and very low. So what's happening is the light is coming across the side of your nose, and it's kind of shadowing and causing heavy shadows into the side of your nose. It is lit from the right side. The image that you're using on your LinkedIn, I know it's an old image as well. It's here on my screen. This is a far better image. I would crop it a little bit higher up around your chest, so it doesn't need to be down as low as it is down to the top of your stomach. It looks like it's cropped from something else. You're sitting down on a bench in a garden. It's one of those kind of wire metal benches, but it's a nice image. It's a nice, comfortable image. It shows a big, genuine, reactive smile. Just to the crop, make sure that the crop only shows your head and your shoulders. It doesn't really need to see anything else, because one of the reasons that we do that is, look how small the image is on the phone.
Yes.
When you understand how small that is, people want to communicate with your eyes. They want to communicate with your mouth and with your posture. So that's all we need to understand to see whether you're happy and confident and comfortable, to get a sense of you. We don't need to see absolutely everything. So that's just a little bit too wide that we don't get to zoom in and focus in on the face. But they're not bad images, Roisin. The one that you have on your Facebook is a little bit tighter. It is a little bit tighter, but I think the crop is just, and the lighting is just not as well. It's not as well lit as the other image. So they're pretty decent images. Cool. Joseph, do you want me to hold that up again?
Yes, please, John. I'd like to see the Facebook one rather, because it's more revealing to me in terms of the face itself.
There you go.
So are you showing this? Show me the Facebook one, or is Roisin showing it?
Roisin.
I am.
I'm going to mute
okay.
my screen.
Okay. Great. Okay. Thanks, Roisin. Yeah, if you can just hold that relatively steady, please. Okay. First thing. I know it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Okay. Your face is kind of, this sounds uncomplimentary, and God is not meant to be, but your face is kind of square shape. So it basically you're very practical. You have a very, very practical mind. So you're naturally resilient. You're naturally again, it's in a different way. Your loyalty is very important to you. Reliability, very important to you. Okay, here we go again.
Sorry.
It's like moving statues here.
I know.
Okay, if you can move it just slightly more to the center, as it were, because I'm missing. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, loyalty is very, very important to you, and that's in the face shape. Your chin is slightly prominent, so again, you're a very determined lady, and I would not want to get in your way if you're going for something. Your nose is slightly concave, so information is really important to you. You love learning, and this is always going to be one of your traits. No matter how much you've studied, I have no idea what you do, but no matter how well you've studied or how much you've studied and how qualified you are in anything, there's always going to be a desire to learn more. And sometimes the information is of no relevance to anybody. It's just interesting to you because you just love gathering information. So it's important there that you learn to sift through what's actually useful as opposed to just interesting. Because you could very easily go down too many rabbit holes just gathering information, and where it's not really serving any great benefit to you. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Amazing.
Pleasure.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well done. Thanks, Roisin.
Thanks, John.
Paul, how are you? Let's go on to Paul. I'm going to try and unmute Paul if I can find him on the list. You're not on the list, Paul. There you are. We can.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Super. We can hear you. How are you?
Grand, thank you. Listen, guys, it's the first time ever doing this. Like I said, it's really, really, really interesting, I have to say. Well done to you.
Great. Pleasure. Thanks, Paul.
The gruesome.
Let me tab over here to my screen, and you can have a look at that.
Cool.
Nope.
You can't see it?
Not yet.
Not so far.
Okay, I did tab over all right, I can see it on mine. Maybe I need to share the screen. Maybe that's what I need to do, right?
Yeah, please.
How's that? Can you see it? Oops.
I can see you.
What about now?
Not yet.
No, just you, which is fine for me, but not for John. So
share screen. I hit this. Where's the share screen button? Down the bottom, isn't it?
On the very bottom.
Yeah, I just see it here in the middle, right? I'm clicking that. Share. How's that?
Something coming.
Yes, we have it here. Cool. Oh.
Okay, but it's not really a headshot.
No, it's not. No,
that's okay. That. Profile images are profile images, so that's where I come in. Joseph just likes to see it a little bit closer, so we can unshare your screen in a minute, and Joseph can talk to you about what he sees on your face. I see images like this from time to time, especially when I talk at conferences and stuff, or when I'm in a room. I tend to do this thing called headshot emergencies, when we look around the room and we get people to show me their headshots or their images. So again, what we want to see is head and shoulders. We only want to see that much. We don't really need to see any more. kind of salute classically a salute is there to lift something off of your face. Knights and soldiers would have done it, and that's why they do it still now today, is they're actually trying to lift the visor. That's what it's designed to do, is to lift the visor to show that you don't mean any threat to the person you're doing it to. I don't think it needs to be on LinkedIn, and it wouldn't be something that I would generally shoot. The suit is quite busy as well. It's a nice suit. The waistcoat's nice. The whole lot is nice. It's nice in person, but in an image, that amount of lines is just distracting, and it kind of distracts the camera. So it's drawing the attention away from your face, away from the actual connection with your eyes and with your posture. So what you're doing is you're actually kind of shielding half of your face. And come in a little bit tighter. You have a cool face. But yeah, just for me, I wouldn't tilt somebody's head towards the camera either, because what we want to do is make sure we can see your jawline. So when you bring your head to the side, what happens is we lose all of this here. It comes down and it doesn't show the actual shape of your face. So dead straight on is fine. If you're going to be at an angle again, it's kind of dead straight and direct to the camera, because ultimately we're communicating with somebody, because 200 years is all we've had cameras for, and 90 million years we've had eyeballs. So we need to communicate with eyes. So we want to connect with somebody face to face. Little things like bringing your head forward like this will make sure that it's saying that I'm paying attention to you and I want you to pay attention to me. The salute thing, I don't think it needs to be there. I'm not kind of crapping all over your image, but it just wouldn't be something that I would be comfortable pushing out of the studio, because I don't think it represents you as best it could. And I'll pass it on to Joseph.
Okay, can let go of the image, Paul, and let's have a look at your live face, because that's not an image I can work with.
Let me see if I can get myself back over to, I'll get back over to this now again. Whoops. How do I get myself back out of this?
I presume you can unshare the screen.
Maybe that's what I need to do.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I got you. Right, not what you were expecting to be analyzed live.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Just think you've got your adoring public watching here, so you're good. You're good. Okay, let me see. Right, nicely thick eyebrows and very straight eyebrows. So analysis is a big part of what you do. And when somebody's presenting information to you, it needs to be very clear. It needs to be very logical. It needs to make sense. If they present it to you in abstract terms, it's just they're wasting your time. So you like a lot of information. You're comfortable receiving all the information. If somebody talks really slowly and just gives you a little bit here and a little bit there, wasting your time. So anybody communicating with you needs to come to the point and needs to have their facts together before they start the conversation. That's the first thing. That's very, very clear. So when you're in the conversation, when you're in a meeting, your eyes are also deep set. So when you're in a meeting, you can be very active and very passive at the same time. And what I mean by that is you can be engaging very actively, you can be communicating, talking, expressing, but you're also receiving and processing a lot of information even while you're talking. And that's indicated in the deep set eyes. So it's an unusual capacity to do both things simultaneously, proving that some men can multitask. You've got your two upper front teeth there are slightly larger, and your chin is quite prominent, so you can be stubborn. Just recognizing the difference between stubbornness and determination, because determination is driving you. Stubbornness can mean you kind of stand in your own way. Yeah. If you get the judgment wrong, and I think you know what I mean by that one. You're also, like several people here, you've got a lovely, well-formed nose, so you're well able to express yourself. You've got plenty of drive, and that'll apply in all areas of life. So you're not going to hold yourself back. When you want something, you're going to go for it. When you've got something to say, you'll say it. And you've also the tip of your nose hangs down slightly. So actually being of service is important to you. So this can be a very useful time for you, that you'll recognize the importance of giving back.
Good, spot on, brilliant, fantastic, yeah. Absolutely, really, really,
okay.
Really good, yeah.
Awesomeness. Thanks for coming on, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Cool. Let me. You take over the screen now, or do I have to do?
I can mute you there, and we'll continue on. Good man. Thanks. So We have Julie next, I think. Let me unmute you. There you go, Julie. How are you?
Hi, I just joined. I'm late to the meeting because I had to take an official work meeting, and that went on and on.
That's okay. You've got a cool mix of accents. Where are you from?
Original, you guess. I need to say more, don't I?
No, you're German, but.
Oh, shite. Okay, yeah, you got me there. Fair enough. I'm hoping I'm not getting caught out because in movies I hate it when they take the pictures, you know.
That's okay.
You know.
Yeah, you've got a cool mix of accents. There's an Irish accent in there as well somewhere.
I'm here a while, thank you. I tell you what, I missed the whole probably introduction, and so I'm not sure what am I now.
Yeah, so you have to give us money. All of us. We all get money. It's a difficult time. We all need money. No, it's okay. If you can share your image with us, what we'll do is I'll talk about how we perceive the image. So from a commercial viability of the image, from how you use it on LinkedIn, on websites, that sort of stuff is really important, especially now that people are communicating like we are, because you can't sit down face to face with anymore without the fear of them passing on a little bit more than their business card. So if you can share your image, even if you can hold your phone up with your LinkedIn profile image, and I'll talk about it from that point of view, and then Joseph will give you all the good stuff about your personality traits.
I'm just wondering if I can make that bigger. Hang on, it's just that little roundy thing. Select. No, it's really small, but let's
That's okay.
see.
Oh, I like it. Cool. This is really well shot. Okay, I've seen all I need to see. This is cool.
Yeah.
Your hair is awesome in the photograph.
Thank you.
It's really, really cool. Expression is genuine and reactive. It's a big, comfortable, warm smile. Again, when we look at these images, like Roisin earlier, your image was quite long on your LinkedIn image. So this image is cropped here to here. That's all we need to see. Genuine, reactive, Duchenne smile. You're squeezing your lower eyelids where we see confidence in the with squeezed lower eyelids, and we see approachability with the mouth. So outwards and upwards, smile goes way out, way up, and it just shows that it's a genuine, cool, reactive smile. It's really well lit. I'm not sure who shot it, but it's a really, really nice image.
Cool.
And it shows that you had a great connection with the photographer. So you were connected with them rather than worrying about what the camera was doing, which is super cool.
So you'd use it across the board because I did at this stage. I did it. I have it on LinkedIn and my Facebook business page. So you'll be happy. Yeah, cool.
Well, I wouldn't use it for me because it doesn't look like me, but for you, great image.
I buy you an ice cream.
Who took the image?
It's actually a friend. He is a professional photographer, so we swapped services basically. So I got it done professionally with the lighting coming from all the right angles.
Who was it?
Brian Farrell. He used to work in Dublin for the Irish Times, but he's in Leitrim. I'm in lovely Leitrim.
You're talking about. Yeah. No, really, really nice image.
And I tell you what he did, because the camera doesn't usually love me, and he may look down and come up basically.
Yeah.
And then say, now you see me here, and about that.
No, I totally understand. So what you're doing is you're bringing your head up, and it makes sure we can see the actual shape of your face and your jawline.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. It's a really lovely image.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
Cool.
Yes, if they even do it homemade to come from and then literally smile at the person that they see there as if you see them for the first time or something, and that came out of it. I thought the way
I think we're losing you a little bit on the bandwidth, but it's fine. No, it's a really, really lovely image. I'm going to pass over to Joseph, and I'm going to mute myself so he can give you all the cool information about your face.
Okay. If you'd like to bring yourself up again, Julie, please, if you would. Yeah, just we've had more than a few conversations about all of this stuff, so I'll just work from the image, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Don't just show me. Just hold up the phone with the image, please.
Oh, my phone. Oh.
Yeah, please,
gotcha.
please.
Yeah. Now I have you. Here we are.
Okay, yeah, that's great. Thank you. If you can just hold it steady there. Right, that's lovely. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at the smile, but also, and as John said, it is the full Duchenne smile, but I'm also looking particularly at the eyes themselves, and the eyes express vitality. The eyes are shining, the eyes are sparkling, and that's the most important thing when we're looking at a face, is to look at the eyes. And what are the eyes telling us? Are they? And I keep repeating this, but the eyes are either giving a message of warmth, neutrality, or coldness, and your eyes express great warmth. So it's a really warm, welcoming smile. So that's that. I mean, I know this anyway, but it's a natural part of the strength you bring, and this and what you communicate with people before you speak. And when we're looking at faces, the eyes are the most important thing. It's really that thing. The eyes are warm, they're neutral, or they're cold, and register that more than anything else. Your mouth, the way you smile there, your mouth opens nice and wide, so you're naturally able to express yourself well. And verbal communication is really important to you. Again, it's one of your natural strengths. So if you were in a situation where you have something to say, it's important that you share it rather than hold yourself back and not trust your judgment. Your nose is also quite well developed in the context of your face. It's nicely proportioned. So again, that expression is important. And one thing, your part of your nose is kind of slender, kind of slim. So that tells me that's an expression, or that's an indication of your sensitivity. So even when you're expressing yourself, and even when you're engaged in things, even actively engaged in conversation, business, whatever, you're tuned in to the energies of the people around you, and who's happy, who's sad, etc. So you'd be well able to gauge what's going on in the atmosphere of a room, and who's up, who's down, etc. And I know because of your work, that's really important anyway. I say we've had several of these conversations, so I'll just leave it there for now, if that's okay with you.
It's spot on, though. It's brilliant. Thank you, Joe.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Cool.
Sure.
Okay,
Cool.
we're going to move across, and we're going to move on to the next person. And I see his big, delicious bitch face. Gorkam, how are you?
Yeah, he'll love that.
I know Gorkam from JCI, JCI member. How are you?
Gorkam.
Running or just walk? Oh. And then on the way back, great job. 2 or 3 kilometers.
Can you hear me?
Just there, and then walk back home.
Another
I
conversation.
think Gorkam's having a chat with somebody else. We'll come back to him. So we will jump over to Stephen O'Donnell.
MacDonald, isn't it?
Or Stephen MacDonald, sorry.
I've been called worse.
Yeah. Nice image, Stephen. I like it. We can see it on the screen. Yeah. It's the image that's kind of shown up for you. This reminds me of the kind of images I shoot, because the lighting is very, very similar. It's very nice. It kind of crosses over onto the right side of your face. You're left-sided, not right-sided. So I shot that with the lights the opposite way around. Some people have a practice of shooting the same kind of lighting style for pretty much everybody. The kick light that comes up on the left side of your face in the image is nice. It lights the face. It gives a three-dimensional aspect, and the shadow one is really, really nice as well. Let me get in a little bit closer and have a quick look. Okay, so here's the bad bits. This is what you're doing. So you're holding your smile. So you're pulling your smile back. So instead of having a big open reactive smile, you're just pulling it back. Another thing we can do as well, again in that position, is it looks like you're almost hanging off, coming towards the camera. So your posture is a little bit dropped on this side. So what we tend to do is bring people backwards. So if you lean backwards, it straightens out that roll in your shoulders, that kind of whole thing of there's no straight lines in nature. So if you lean back like this, it squares off your shoulders. And when it squares off your shoulders, then you can drive your head forward like this. And when you drive your head forward like this, it's saying, I'm paying attention to you. I want you to pay attention to me. And that's where we get the strength from. I know we already said it earlier with Emer's image. Emer's image is very strong in the same position, but the hand was kind of back here. And it changed the dynamic as it runs off the screen, or it runs off the crop in the image. So yeah, you don't have to hold your smile back. Let it go. Everybody's like, we all have this one thing that we see in photographs that we don't like. Because when you see yourself in the mirror, you believe you look like that, firmly believe you look like that, but you don't. You're the only person in the whole world who sees that image. So when you see a photograph of yourself, it's the wrong way around. And your brain says, what's wrong with that? Why do I not look like me? So what you'll do is you search your face really quickly. You go to one thing in your face you don't like. It's the same thing in every image, and it's always there. And you blame that on making you feel uncomfortable. But it's not that at all. It's the fact that the person in the photograph is uncomfortable or holding himself back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nodding heads. So what you're doing here is you're just pulling your smile backwards, and you're restricting yourself from a big emotional release smile. And what you tend to do as well is you'll squeeze on the right side of your face more than the left side of your face when you're faking it. We all do it. We smirk. We go like this because we think that's what we should be doing. But when you do that, what it does is it squeezes this eye. So you're squeezing your right eye more than your left eye. So it's giving us a difference in the shape of your eyes. But when you have a genuine reactive smile, both of your eyes will squeeze the exact same at the exact same time, just like Louise in the very, very top on my screen. She's a big giant grin on her face because she knows exactly what I'm talking about. So all you have to do is let it go, like the Frozen song. And I think that's it. It's a cool image. It's lit really well. It's other than holding your smile back just a little bit, it's a great image. Good work.
Okay, if I could have another look at the image, please.
It's straight up on the. Can you see it there as his little avatar on the screen?
I did see it when you were talking about it, but it's not there for me now. No. Can you show it, Stephen?
I don't know if I can show that one, but I can show.
I'm seeing it now. So that's if you,
okay, great.
Whatever you've done.
Probably
now,
comes up when I start
cool.
talking.
Right. Great. Excellent. Okay. I'll just touch on something there that John mentioned. Because of the way your mouth is held in that smile, your mouth is tilted slightly to your right. And if you see that on somebody's face, and you'll see it on many politicians' faces, where the mouth is tilted slightly to the right, and it's not because of like a palsy or a stroke or anything like that. It means their default setting is they're looking to sell you something. They're looking to convince you of something. Now, they may or may not be genuine, but the default setting is they're trying to sell you something. So it would be better for you in this context to just allow a full smile, because it would show much more of your natural warmth. And given then the overall shape of the face, which is, again, it's a combination of three actually, which is kind of oval, kind of rectangular, and a little bit of rounded, which is more in the middle section. And you've got this lovely fullness of the cheeks, and particularly when you associate that or you combine that with the roundness of the forehead, and when you smile, that gives a very friendly, non-threatening appearance to people. So it allows people to relax in your presence, and it allows people to feel, oh, this is a guy I can connect with. This is a guy I can do business with. Whereas if you go in and your face is more severe and you're not smiling, it's much more serious. It's much more stern, and it may not always get the best results. So just changing that little bit, just opening up the smile and just relaxing the face can serve you. Can really hugely benefit the results you get from people.
Brilliant.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely fantastic. Appreciate it. And it's a good bit of feedback there. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Stephen.
Pleasure, Stephen. Thank you.
Okay, we have Gorkan back.
About that.
Muted now. We were listening to you earlier on talking to somebody else, so you're running around doing something.
Really? I'm sorry about it.
That's okay.
Not to worry.
You had your head shot up on the screen earlier. Can you bring it back up again so we can have a look?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
There we go. Okay. This is a cool way of doing it. Okay, so this is a cool image. It's really well lit. It's a little bit yellow. I know that you're Turkish, but you're not yellow. But the color tone across your skin is a little bit yellow. That leads me to believe it was shot in a room with incandescent light bulbs. So even though they lit you with probably photographer's lights, it's just a little bit on the warm side. The posture is the same thing that I was talking about already with Emer's image and with Stephen's image, is that when we're slightly side on, it can look like we're leaning forward, and it's hugely, hugely obvious in this image. So if we look at Gorkam's left shoulder, what's happening with his left shoulder, if I do it this way, it's the shoulder nearest the camera. So at the corner of the image, it leans all the way forward, and then his head tilts backwards, and then it goes back this way, which feels unnatural. It feels like he's leaning forward like this, and then his head is way back here like this. So what you're doing by raising your chin up is it looks like you're trying to get away. When we bring our heads forward, we're making other people look at us in the same way. So when you bring your head forward and say, I'm paying attention, they'll do the exact same thing because their mirror receptors make them do that. So when you bring your head back, it looks uncomfortable for some reason. And when you're side on as well, it just looks like you're in a weird position. It looks like you're actually sitting on a chair or on a stool when you're having the photograph taken, and then the head is up. The smile is genuine enough, but it is a social smile. So the top lip is completely flat. It's not a huge, big, wide smile. You've got a great jawline as well, so we can see that anyway, but bringing your head down slightly will strengthen that jawline. The hair does come up a good bit down your neck. I shot this in the video earlier, so I'm going to show you. Up here.
Yeah.
Let me bring that light down a little bit more. Okay, so on purpose, I have shaved as far as here. Normally the hair would be down here, but because I was shooting videos today and shooting headshots today, I trimmed the hair all the way up here. Girls, you don't need to worry about it. It's just for men. It's a man problem. So when you shave up as far as here, when you bring your head forward, you can see your jawline, and it actually shows your jawline quite strongly. Instead of you having hair running all the way down here and looking like a human thumb with eyeballs on it and a load of hair. But you have a cool image. I'd like to see the smile a little bit more reactive. So you in a higher kind of instance of that smile, or in a more reactive smile rather than smiling because you believe you need to. But not a bad image.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Lovely.
Okay, over to me.
Hi, Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
Yeah. Hi, Gorkam. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Right, I'm just going to make a few general observations. The first thing is your bone structure is very, very clear. So when you enter a room, you are a presence. People will notice you. So again, it's important, not just in terms of the photo, it's important when you enter a room that you make sure you're standing erect and you carry yourself and you're not rushing into the room, you're moving at your own pace. And that's part of how people will notice you and take and really, oh, this is a presence in the room. Your jawline is very well developed, and particularly the right side. So that tells me about the importance of two things. Number one, the professional side of your life, your career, the business side of your life, and also the importance of physical fitness. Now, I know you're an ultra runner, so I know that you've been taking care of that. But you are, and I know some of this. I know some of the stuff that's going on for you at the moment. But you, because of your, not just your background, but just simply in terms of looking at your face and your facial structures, because it's all so clear, and so the bone structure is so clearly defined, and because the right side of your jaw is so well defined, you need to be looking at the very least, senior management roles. Anything else is not serving your talents. It's not serving your intelligence, and it will lead to a feeling of underachievement on your part. Now, I know I do understand your circumstances at the moment. I know the challenges that are there. So, but I'm just emphasizing the importance to you to aim high and not simply accept something just to keep you going unless it's very short term and unless you have a definite plan in mind to go way beyond it. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, Joseph, so clear. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll when circumstances change, we'll organize to meet and we can talk in more detail.
Thank you. Thanks a million, guys. Thank you. Great. Lovely.
Pleasure, Gorka.
Thanks for sharing.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Hi for everybody, and sorry about that connection problem. Thank you.
No, not to worry. Life happens.
Cool. So we are going to jump on to the next person, and who do we see on the screen? We've been through Emma. We have Deborah. Deborah is here, and I can unmute Deborah. Deborah, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And yourselves?
Absolutely super. Can you share your headshot image on LinkedIn with us?
I actually can share my screen. I have it.
That
One
works.
second. I think. Screen. Start now.
Hello, Simon Tyler, by the way. Love the book. Thanks very much.
Okay. Let me just see if this has worked now.
That worked.
That it?
Oh, I know you. Hello, Deborah.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. I'm very good.
Awesome. Okay, so let's jump into it. Love the curly hair. Curly hair is a sign of fertility, but that's not what this is about. Anyway, so the image here, your posture's hanging down, so you're rolling your shoulders forward and you're kind of diminishing your posture. And you've got a social smile as well. So this is something I talk about a lot because almost every single person in the whole world does it. So what we do is we smile because we believe we need to, and it's this kind of sense of Chandler smile. You know, so what's happening is a genuine smile is reactive because we release endorphins, and endorphins run through your bloodstream, which go everywhere. So from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, you're smiling. So your posture smiles, your posture is big and confident. You've got a big reactive, genuine expression on your face. But here you're smiling just because you feel you need to.
Yeah.
So what you're doing is you're pulling onto the right side of your face, which is the side closer to the camera. So it's making you squeeze your left eye more than your right eye and pull this side of your lip up just a little bit bigger. But what your posture is saying is, I'm not smiling. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm uncomfortable. But the smile itself is trying to say, basically what we do is we say, okay, I'm standing in front of a camera. I need to smile. Smile his mouth. I'll move my mouth. And then we move our mouths, and it's the only part of the face or the body that's actually smiling. So it's like saying, I am really, really happy, but with this face. You know, it just doesn't match. So we need the eyebrows, the lower eyelids, and the corners of the mouth, and the posture to all say smiling at the same time. And we do that without thinking about it. It just happens. The light as well, we can obviously see the shadow at the back of your hair on the wall. So you're standing really close to the wall. And that would be something that I would normally, it doesn't happen in the studio because of the way we light things. But it's not a bad image. It does light you well. So it's lit right across the front of your face. You're right-sided rather than left-sided, so you'd more. Are you? Yeah, I think you're right-sided more than left-sided. So just the angle of the light needs to be a little bit more around onto the right side of you than the left side. But that's just me being finicky and pedantic. But yeah, it's not a bad image in the fact that it does light you. It does show you. Using it on your LinkedIn, it just needs to be cropped above that little bow, or in around that little bow on the front of your top, up to your hairline, and we can see you, we can communicate with you, we can understand you. But big, genuine, reactive smiles are always a little bit better. But thanks for sharing.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay, here we go. Lovely image. A lot going on there. I'm going to slightly put you on the spot here, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. The dimples are awesome as well, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll start with the dimples just to go with the easy bit. When you have dimples, when you see dimples like that on somebody's face, it's an indication that they're, as the Chinese would say, favored by life. In other words, things tend to happen in your favor without you necessarily having to go for them. Things just kind of drop into your lap. But the Chinese perspective is that everything has a flip side. So the flip side of it is that if a relationship doesn't work for you, you're not just upset, you're heartbroken. So everything that has a front has a back. So just be alert to that one. That
okay.
If things are really going in your favor, there may be a bit of a payback from time to time. That's just how life happens, unfortunately. So you need to be well tuned into yourself. You need to emphasize harmony within yourself. And if there's stuff coming up for you, make sure you deal with it, and deal with the internal aspects of it first, rather than the externals. Because I I realize I'm jumping ahead into something here, and I don't normally do this in a public setting, but there's stuff going on in your image there, and I don't know how recent it is, but your eyes are giving two different messages. The right side of a person's face is their public persona. The left side is their private persona. And there's a seriousness in your face, but especially on the left side. So there's certainly, whatever was going on at the time, you were certainly processing some stress. Again, I'm not wishing to cross any lines here, but there was something it wasn't resolved for you, shall we say. So there's a partial smile, but it's not a complete smile. And you've got this lovely fullness in your cheeks. So empathy is a really important part of your life, but receiving empathy is also important. So if there's situations in your life where you're not receiving the empathy that you're giving out, maybe step back a little and pay real attention to the self-nurturing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm deliberately not being too precise, but I think you do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
See, you can't get away with anything with him. That's why I didn't talk to him for 3 months. I wouldn't look at him when I met him first, because he looked at you. Cool. Thanks, Deborah.
Thanks, Deborah. Thank you.
Excellent. So who have we got now? We have Paul. Actually, we have Simon Tyler's way up there. I see Simon. Let me bring Simon in. I'll unmute you, Simon. How's it going?
Very good, thank you. I'm so impressed with how you manage this.
Say that again?
I'm so impressed with how you're managing all of this technology. Blows my mind.
I'm really badly managing technology. Everybody else is doing their thing, and I'm just sitting here looking at the screen, lost. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Very
awesome.
Good. In splendid isolation in the countryside.
Lovely. I like it. Well, I hope you're reading your own book. It's really good. There's a few people in here with books. Jesus, I'm starting to feel like I should be writing stuff.
Absolutely, you should. You know so much, Mr. Murray.
I like the hat combination of the thing today as well.
That's because I'm having a bad hair day.
You're talking to your brother. I'm going around like a poet, and there's not a barber's open anywhere. Okay.
No, I know. I even tried to shave my own hair this morning, but it didn't go well.
Lovely. Leave the hat on. Can you share your headshot with us?
Yeah, I've got it on screen, so I'll move my camera around so you can have a look.
Is this the black and white one or the one I shot?
Well, I'm going to show you the one on LinkedIn at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I've not replaced it with the one that you took, which I will probably after this. Do you want to see your shot or my LinkedIn shot?
Show us your LinkedIn shot.
Okay.
Because I know yours is cool.
Okay, so.
I said in London, we met in L'Oreal, just to give it a little bit of context, at the Dial Global event. I love this image. It's really, really, really well shot. It's really clear. The only thing I can see in the image is that your shoulders are slightly rolled forward. And it's because you're sitting down, what's happening is the jacket is pushing up, the jacket's sitting off your shoulders, and then it's falling forward, especially on the right side as well, on your right shoulder. The same thing, I think we had the conversation about the roundy face thing as well in London. When you sit back or you sit down, what happens is we kind of turtle into ourselves, and it makes it look like your face is a lot more round than it actually is. So when you've got tall, like you separate the gap between your shoulders or your collarbones and your jaw, and you stretch your head up, and when you stand with good posture, what it does is it lets your body hang naturally, and it gives you your actual shape and the actual shape of your face. Because again, not one of us know what we look like. You know, we've got 16,384 different musculature variations on your face. So when you lift your posture, it will actually change the shape of your neck, the shape of your face and your jaw. But I love that image. I think it's a really, really cool image. Other than the jacket falling forward because you're sitting down, I think it's cool. You show us the other one.
One, let's have a look. How do I get that?
If you go into your messages and just search for them, I think I sent it to you in a private message on LinkedIn, didn't I?
You did. I've got it in screen as well.
Yeah. Because it shows the difference between the roundy faceness in the other one and the kind of bigger posture.
Post one, here it is. All right, there's two I quite like you took. That one.
You see the jawline?
Yeah.
Such a significant difference between that and the other one, because you're standing in this image and it's open. This is cool as well. It shows the cheekiness on your face. So this is a big, genuine, reactive smile. You wanted to shoot your glasses off, I remember.
Yeah.
So we shot with the glasses off, and then we put the glasses back on as well. Don't need to show us your emails. There we go. So yeah, here posture is much bigger. Your head is forward, so it's engaged with the people who are looking at the image. So they're forced, because of their mirror receptors, to copy what they see. It's genuine. It's a reactive smile. It doesn't look like you're in a room full of people, which you are. But yeah, it's like, I'm not going to critique my own image, because, you know, that would be a bit. Other than your jacket's open, and the jacket open, I'm looking at it going, that jacket shouldn't have been open. It should have been closed to taper her in. But yeah, look, there's a significant difference just in the shape of your face and in the amount of light in your face. The other one is quite serious, but this one actually shows your personality.
Yeah. I rarely show my teeth.
Yeah, we had that conversation as well.
Yeah.
See, no issues. Nobody's looking at your teeth. Everybody loves you.
Aside from me.
There you go. Joseph's got to look at your teeth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you bring an image up there for me, Simon, please?
Which one would you like? Shall I go with the LinkedIn one?
Yeah, just go with it, please. Okay. Yeah, moving images, lovely. Thank you, thank you. And I'm actually going to refer first to the live image of you, which we've just seen. And I know people can't see it, but I just use it as a kind of a brief tutorial. Where the glasses sit. Say again?
I bring the live one back up.
No, I'll just refer to it. I presume people have good visual sense. So where the glasses sit on the bridge of the nose, you have a horizontal crease there. So I'm not going to ask what age you are, but I would suggest you're more older than 41 anyway. So if you have a think about what happened in your life around the age of 41-ish, that was significant, that was like a real time to reflect, and maybe even a big turning point, because that's what that line signifies, that horizontal crease in the bridge of the nose. So for anybody watching this, if you see somebody with a distinct horizontal crease in that area, that's what it indicates, a big turning point in somebody's life at that time.
Divorce.
Now, it could, yeah.
That's what it was.
So yeah. So that's what's there. So when you see that line, it means there's something very, very significant happened in the person's life at that time. And it could be within sort of 6-9 months either side of 41, but it's very close to that time. And it's something that's had a very significant impact on their life, physically, mentally, emotionally, and otherwise. You've also got, then going from that horizontal line, you've got two other lines going up, almost forming a triangle at the base of the forehead. And we can see a little bit of that in the LinkedIn image. So when you see that triangle, that means this is somebody who has very strong intuitive creative ability. So for you, I have no idea what you do, but when you're working, or when you're, even before you work, when you're thinking about a project, when you're coming up with ideas, allow yourself to daydream, because that's when you'll get a lot of the best creative ideas, the ones that will actually work. That's very, very important to you. So you can be a bit like, Einstein in the coffee houses, imagining beams of light on, photons dancing and all of that. So you will get some of your best ideas purely from daydreaming and not trying to think, not trying to make things work. You're also then just going down to the lower face. Your face overall is very strong. It's almost like a square shape. So very practical, but also because your features are very clear, And because the right side of the jaw is so strong and so well formed, and it's all, but also there's a fullness and a softness to the right side. You are very comfortable in a position of leadership. So making sure you step into that and take that on willingly is very important. Otherwise, you're underselling yourself. Does that make sense?
Totally, absolutely. I love contemplating.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such an innate part of your strength. So cultivate it, nurture it, allow it to present you with the information rather than you automatically having to go searching.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Sensational. There we go. See, another reason why I wouldn't look at him for 3 months after I met him for the first time, because he tells you stuff about your life. He won't tell me the lotto numbers, but sure, we'll get there eventually.
53, by the way, I'm 53.
53. Okay. So you're a little bit further down your face.
Tax. 21 plus tax. Thanks, Simon.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Pleasure, Simon. Thank you.
So we're going to jump on to Paul Ferguson. Paul, can you hear us?
We did, Paul.
Oh, we did?
Paul. There's only Aoife left, I think, on that list that we haven't been with yet.
Aoife, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
you.
you.
Hello, Aoife. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Stupendous. Absolutely fantastic. I think we've been going on for well longer than we thought we would. We are about an hour and a half in, so fair play to you for hanging on.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Last in the queue. But Aoife, can you share your image with us so we can see it?
I hope so.
We'll give it a go. So, what about this weather?
Yeah.
I had a friend in the studio earlier. Danny is a comedian and he teaches people about public speaking. So you're shooting some videos and you're saying, always be prepared, because if no matter what goes wrong, you can always, even if you're on stage or your presentation fails behind you, you can always, if you're prepared, you can just ramble off and you don't have to worry too much. Aoife, if you can't find your image or if you're not able to share it, if you give me your details, I can probably bring your image up if we're connected on LinkedIn, or I can find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's great, John. We're connected. It's Aoife Gallagher. I've been meaning to come into you for ages.
Oh, no escape now.
Oh, I know who Aoife Gallagher is. We're almost South William Street neighbours.
Yeah.
You're just around the corner. Okay. We've met as well. So here's Aoife's image. If it's not too bright, let me bring it in a little bit more.
Yeah.
There we go.
Excellent.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk about what I see in the image.
Go for it.
First, let me have a quick look. Okay, so Aoife's got really, really good posture. I don't know if you dance or anything like that, but you've got really, really strong, tall, confident posture. You've got a great jawline as well, and your head is slightly inflected over to the right. Right, left, right, selfie. Trying to figure out whether it's a selfie or not. So your head is slightly inclined over to show the side of your face and open up the side of your face that you unconsciously favor. That's why you part your hair that side as well. So what you're doing is you're showing off the side of your face that you think is better for the whole world to see. We've got a little bit of sternocleidomastoid tension down here. So you're driving your head up. Because you're in good shape as well and you've got a really good jawline, what's happening is we're getting that little bit of tension in your neck. You see it there?
Yeah.
I'll bring it forward. And that just shows a little bit of tension, a little bit of strength there. Smile is reactive. The corners of your mouth are inflected upwards, but your lower eyelids are curved. So what's happening is you're smiling because you think you need to smile in front of the camera. But just holding your eyes open. A lot of people do this in their images. You wouldn't sit next to this on a bus. So we shouldn't really be doing it in photographs because that's how people see us. So yeah, just the big roundy eyebrows or roundy lower eyelids show us that you're just holding your eyes open just a touch, and then you're smiling like this. Just saying that you're doing it because you think you need to. So other than that, you have a cool image. I like it. Do I see anything else? It's a little bit high because it is a selfie and people shoot selfies just above themselves. But other than that, it is a cool image. I do like it. You have a great face. You're in great nick. Physically, look after yourself. That's important. But yeah, lower eyelids are only there for communication. Upper eyelids are only there to clean your eyeballs. That's all they're for. So okay. I'm going to hold it up here a little bit more so Joseph Maguire can get a good look.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Hi, Aoife.
Hi.
Okay. Part of your face is covered obviously by your hair, and I'd like to see that part because it would tell me a little bit more, because I'm, again, just referring back to something I said earlier, the right side of your face refers to your public persona, the left is your private persona. So part of you is covered there. Now, whether that's normal for you or whether that's just in the photo, I don't know. But it's when I see the hair covering part of the face like that, it tells me you're hiding part of yourself in your public life.
I normally wouldn't have it so covered, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you the image is gone again. So
can you hear me? It's
John, you come back in. So
yeah,
you show me the image.
If I speak, it should pop back up. There we
Great.
go.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah. But if you were to allow that to happen on a regular basis, Eva, and where it's also covering part of your eye, it's literally hiding part of yourself, and by definition, part of your strength. So you're not bringing the best of yourself out. And given the strength of the gaze in your eyes, and given the strength of the cheekbones, there's no purpose in you underselling yourself, because you have lovely definition in terms of your bone structure. And I suspect the glasses are hiding it slightly, but there's a nice width and there's a nice definition to the upper cheekbone here, which tells me you have a lot of drive, you have a lot of natural energy, you have a lot of natural strength. So stepping into a leadership role is innate for you. It's natural for you. So make sure you're bringing the best of yourself through there. Again, the look in the photo is just that bit severe, and it's not really natural to you, but it does emphasize the strength of your gaze, emphasizes the strength you have. But just that little bit of softness, again, just allows you to move that little bit more freely, allows you to engage that bit more freely, and it just allows people to see the warmth behind. You can be the velvet, the iron fist in the velvet glove. So again, this is obviously a snapshot in time, and I suspect in person you would be demonstrating more the natural softness that allows your strength to come through more fully. Does that make sense?
It does. Thanks, Joseph. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'm not sure that I've expressed it as clearly as I would like, but it's the best I can do for right now.
Thanks very much, Joseph. Thank you.
Thanks,
Eva. Thank you.
Thanks, Jan.
You're very welcome. Cool. I think we've gotten through everybody. God knows how many people. I think there was 22, 23, 24 people on at some stages. So we kind of hammered through huge amounts of people. This is like the first video we did. We said, right, we'll profile 10 people and we'll talk to 10 people. And it went on, and it was only supposed to be 15 minutes. And we ended up an hour and 15 minutes later, still profiling people, still looking at people's headshot images and stuff like that. Now, guys, thanks for sticking around. This is going to be recorded. It's already recorded. So what we're going to do is post it onto YouTube. If there's anybody who doesn't want to be linked into it, let us know. And we can see what we can do about having you edit it out. There, you're good, Simon. Thanks very much. Excellent. Awesome. We'll post it. And if anybody complains, then we'll just get them edited out and we'll repost it. Yeah. Because that's just the way you do stuff nowadays. GDPR and all that. Simon, you don't have to worry about GDPR anymore. So has anybody any questions? Lava Sue, stick the hand up or just shout or something and we'll try and answer any questions you have really quickly. And then we'll leave you to your day. Anyone, any questions?
I have a question for Joseph.
Yep, go for it, Paul.
Joseph, this Chinese stuff and all the rest of your learning there, has it anything to do with astrology as well? Is there any link to that as well?
No. Simple answer.
No.
Simple answer. No.
Cool.
You could get deeper into Chinese systems and possibly link it to Chinese astrology, but I don't, and it's not part of my training.
No worries.
Cool. Yeah, so it is a 3,000-year-old Chinese art, and it's used all around the world still now, 3,000 years later, and it has developed a lot in the last 3,000 years, I suppose, because people have developed and the world has changed. You know, we wear literally everything that we wear our DNA on our face, we wear our genetics, we wear the things that we are taught, the way we're taught to move around the earth is all worn on us. Even a kind of reference bits and pieces of the face, because when Joseph talks about this stuff, and we have these conversations, and I sit there and kind of wonder about the physiology and why it's happening. I think, Simon, you were at the thing when I referenced people's eyebrows there were 4 people who had asked questions. Yeah, there were 4 people who had asked questions at the Dial Global event in L'Oreal before I got up. And the very first thing I pointed out was the shape of their eyebrows are all the exact same. Every single one of them had vertical eyebrow hairs. They all had high arches here. And I explained why that happened. Because did your mother ever tell you, don't do that with your face, it's going to get stuck? And he didn't believe her, but it actually does get stuck. So if you're driving your eyebrows down like this the whole time, because you're inquisitive, what's happening is when you drive your eyebrows down, is you're creating these kind of active mind lines in here. You're driving the shape of the corrugator muscles in, and when you drive that down here, it rotates the shape of the muscle. So the muscle rotates, and you get these vertical eyebrow hairs here. And what you also do is you raise, excuse the state of my hair, what we do is we raise our eyebrows up here when we're inquisitive as well. And the frontalis muscles up here pull, and they change the outer arches of the eyebrows. And that's why they get stuck like that, like Gorkam's eyebrows. Look, just exactly like them. And exactly like mine, because we like all this information. We like to ask questions. So when you're thinking and you're asking questions, what's happening inside your brain is happening on your face as well at the exact same time. And that's why those people in L'Oreal, and that's why I have these eyebrows, and that's why Simon has the same eyebrow shapes as well. Joseph has it definitely, is because we're raising up the frontalis muscles here to say, I'm interested, this is interesting me. And you're drawing your eyebrows in towards the center. There's lots of amazing things that the face carries. Physiology wise, it's, a lot of people call it physiognomy now. It's a new word for it, which is just, they're putting words on stuff just for the sake of putting words on it. But it's really, really interesting stuff. I think that's it. Any more questions?
No, just to say, well, there may be questions, but just to say that all these lines and features that appear on your face, they all tell me something about you. And I look to make sure you get the good stuff, aside from John.
Yeah, my face doesn't say anything. I say everything. That's why I'm a big wide mouth, because I'm a big talker. Cool. Thanks, guys, for logging on. Thanks for having a chat with us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing your images.
No, thank you. Really appreciate it.
It was really cool. Thanks for. We're going to do this again. We've done it twice now. We're going to do it again, and this is the first time doing it live on the internet with people staring back at us. So and not having to worry about what you say, because they can hear you. And you can hear them.
No editing the live stuff.
No editing the live stuff. Okay, cool, guys. Go and enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to keep yourself physically distant from everybody else. Wash your hands as much as you can, and take care.
Great job, guys. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Thanks a million. Bye.
Thanks.